this funding to the end of the year versus next year?
No decisions were made.
Okay, we're going to go back into regular session. No decisions was made. But we do have a couple of questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think the consensus is we'd be more than willing to fund this thing through the remainder of the year and then take a fresh look at it in January. This way, because we really haven't, they sprung this on us pretty quick. We haven't had a chance to really fully understand the impact of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
We would like to go ahead and observe it for the next 2 or 3 months and just see how things are going here before we make a full committal in January for the entire year. Does that sound like a reasonable?
Basically what we're doing is pretending we didn't have this conversation until later.
Right.
That's.
But we're still funding it. Okay.
And obviously I'll go back and I'll talk to Wendy. And what Wendy does, but I'm fine with that.
Okay.
And I don't think the grantors are going to have a problem with that either. Because I asked him, I said, okay, well, what happens if this program all of a sudden explodes and she's got 160 patients then in November, which I don't think is going to happen, but I was playing devil's advocate. And they said, well, then we would fund that full time.
Okay.
So obviously they're willing to switch their reimbursement because they're billing for these services. They're getting revenue, and obviously if they get 160 of value instead of 80 of value, whatever value is.
What do you got to do to become a patient?
You have to have 2 or more chronic illnesses. Well, yeah.
I'm sure we can get us 80 more people to step up.
No, there's 80 more out there, I guarantee you.
We just need to put it in the paper. We need 80 more people.
You're not far off.
We can cover this sucker.
And all you have to put up with is a 20-minute phone call once a month.
I don't answer.
All right, if that's
agreeable
with you, that's what we'll kind of make a plan on. That way in January we can make a better informed decision, I guess is our position there.
And we'll know how our budget ended up.
True.
And, whatever we wouldn't use to additionally fund that program is out of equipment reserve, so it rolls over anyway. So, okay. Any other questions?
You can't leave yet.
So that isn't the first I've heard of this, because we are a participant with this group. But one of the issues we've had is there's been 2 regional meetings, the last 2 regional meetings that I can't get to because I have to stay here and be on call. Obviously, this has been discussed at those 2 regional meetings. The one before that is when it was presented. My gut feeling with this is, had this health coach thing been a little more transparent and upfront, I'd have no problem with the goals of this. How they're going to attain it, I don't know. But their goals, okay, we're going to collaborate more and we're going to increase efficiencies and drive down costs. But some of this we're already doing. Like one of their big things is they want to have a group purchasing organization so that we can buy things in bulk at cheaper amounts. Well, that was one of the things that I joined when I first became the director. I'm part of a national group purchasing organization, so I don't think we're going to save anything there. So it's going to be, they talk about simplified and basically regionalized protocols is what they're talking about. I'm not against that. If we need to call Goodland Ambulance in to help us out, it would be great if we both had we were operating out of the same notebook. I'm for it in concept. But there's a purpose for us to get together quarterly as a region to discuss some of these things. And all of us come from smaller communities, and I don't know if we need a head on our snake. And I don't know if we need to be paying that. And if it comes with a fee, which it's really vague, they're not to that point. how anything would be funded, but knowing this group, they hired 40 people full-time for the collaborative 2 or 3 years ago.
Just for Northwest Kansas,
No, this is for the state.
statewide.
For the Heart and Stroke Collaborative. Now they're kind of, what it appears to me, they're changing wheels from this chronic care thing we're doing over here and now focusing on EMS. And I don't know. There's a little bit of transparency issue there that I saw with where we're at right now with Wendy that doesn't set real well with me to just jump on board with another, or advise you to jump on board. But that's the first time I've saw a formal letter.
Well, I'd say keep watching it and see what happens.
Yeah. And I don't know. I got to get to those region meetings, obviously. There's a lot going on in the region and supposedly if I don't get there, we get kicked out of the region, so.
Out of the region.
Yeah, they're supposed to tell you every time I'm not there. I don't know if you've been getting the letter, but it's like, okay, do we cover our county or do we go to another meeting? We got to cover our county, so.
You're in so much trouble they call us personally.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing the right thing, so
So,
let's see where
I'm
this
gonna-
is, and just keep an eye on this. And
Like I said, I've skimmed it. I'm going to get a copy of it and I'm going to read the whole thing and then start asking some questions about it.
all right,
But, okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Tearing out, Dave's on here.
that's fine. Taryn, I think we're going to jump you right in.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys today?
Good, thank you.
Good. I got a couple things to hand out to you guys. Do you mind if I set this here?
No,
So I'll only take up a couple minutes of your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So first things first, let me say thank you for allowing me to come in and chat with you guys for a couple minutes. Second, let me introduce myself. My name is Taryn Carmichael, and I have recently moved back here to the area, and I've taken the foundation director position over at Bird City Century 2 Development Foundation. I'm here today on behalf of the Hanson Foundation. I'm helping them promote and coordinate an upcoming event here in Cheyenne County. It's our Cheyenne County Strategic Doing Meeting. And you guys might have already heard of this. Hanson, I think, has been doing it for 2 years now, but they're really trying to push counties to do this. What it is, it's a strategic meeting where they encourage everyone in the county to attend and share their ideas. They're offering $100,000 every year for 4 years for us to put towards anything that we see, necessary. Like if we have projects that need completed, if we have like new ideas, new projects, a service that needs to be implemented within our county or communities, that's exactly what they are wanting us to come up with, is ideas of things that we would like to see come a part of our county. So this is me here asking you guys to attend on October 11th. It's our first strategic doing meeting. And the first meeting is basically a breakdown of all of the ideas. Say we have 100 people come, everyone's going to throw their ideas in, and then we'll slowly work through those, and you'll be broken down into smaller teams or groups that will allow you to remain active so the ball just doesn't get kicked and stops rolling. I've been to a couple other county meetings, and it's awesome, like what people are coming up with and the things that they're doing so far, and they're only on their like third or fourth meeting.
and this is open to the entire public.
The entire county, the entire Cheyenne County. If you're a resident of Cheyenne County, it doesn't matter if you're in a community, if you're rural, whatever, you're more than welcome to come to this. I've been encouraging, like I've talked to school boards, like I've talked to Cheyenne School Board, I've talked with Rob Schultz. I had a meeting with him yesterday. And I've talked with city councils. I came over on Monday, talked with your city council. Trying to get everyone that plays a role in the community to come. it's a great event. It encourages, economic development, county unity, long-range investments, like you're working on your quality of life, health, education, any of that. And the thing that Hanson wants us to realize is it takes participation in all this. And I've realized that it takes participation for, rural communities like us to remain viable for years to come. And this is just one little thing that could help us as a county do some amazing things. I've watched, like the ideas and the motivation are there here in this county. I've had numerous conversations with people that have fantastic ideas. And I'm really excited. It's going to be a great thing that Hanson has in store for us. The event itself is coordinated by Betty Johnson. She's part of the Dane G. Hanson Foundation. She'll be running interference, keeping us on time, and the meeting itself is 7 to 9 on October 11th, but there will be appetizers and networking from 6 to 7. I encourage you, if you're out in your communities, to encourage other people to come as well. But I just wanted to stop by and tell you about this event that's coming up, and I hope to see you there.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It sounds like a pretty exciting thing. So after you have a meeting, you come up with a couple of ideas that you think are the most viable, and then submit it to Dane G, and then they judge.
No, if you think of idea, they basically just let you take it away. Not saying so in other counties, the way it's working right now that I've realized is the $100,000 isn't a lump sum. So what it is, it's an incentive, as in it keeps you meeting every month, and you'll get lump sums of money to continue your projects of whatever. So you may have like 2 projects in economic development. You may have, focusing on healthcare.
So you can keep building on these as you go.
Right. And the thing is, it's like, even though you might have people in different areas, all of those things intertwine with one another, and they're helping each other in the end. So it's a really neat deal, and I'm kind of going forward with the whole thinking on this, and I hope I've been telling other people too, is you have to look at it as like, what can we do for generations to come? Not where we're at now, like what can we do to make, this place better than it already is? And this is just one step in that direction.
Sounds great to me. I hope you get lots and lots of people to attend.
I hope so too. So I've been in contact with Tom Keller over here. He's been helping a lot, try and get the word around. And then the St. Francis Community Foundation as well is helping promote this event. And so we're hoping to have a good turnout and lots of great ideas come of this.
Sounds great.
So
good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you. Do you guys have any other questions on this, or?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, hopefully we will see you on October 11th then.
I won't be there. I'm sorry, I'll be out of town. But
So you have the second meeting then?
The hors d'oeuvres, they're free appetizers will get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
Yeah. That sounds good. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Dave.
Morning.
Well, you got that solid waste paper in front of you. I did a little more checking, on this financial assurance. I called to see if other counties was having the same problem because we got our meeting coming up October 12th. I thought maybe we'll have Bill Biter come out and talk to us on this. I guess we're one of the few counties that took the option where we put money in the, in the trust fund to save, for future use for financial assurance. What's that?
What the other counties do if they didn't?
They did this. They did this study where you basically know you'll have enough money to cover the cost of it from taxes if something was to happen.
Well, I think when we got into this before, I think Roger was on that.
I know when we was pushing for that deal when you was in there the first time, to change it. Of course, that was when they was trying to shut the landfills down, I think, when you was in there. But the financial assurance thing started.
That's why they come up with this plan that we got now, because they know we wouldn't have enough tax to do it.
Well, because a lot of it rotates, but if you look at the numbers, we had a lot more liability out there in 2012. I think we dug the new pit, and see they have, an estimation of cost per yard to cover it. And therefore, when you had a new pit opened up, it's going to be a higher to get it closed down if something was to happen. So the longer you operate, the more you fill it, therefore there's less exposure out there. So that's the reason it's going to be decreasing. But we, at this time, they're saying it's almost $1 million to close it. And we have almost $300,000 in the trust fund, the way it is. So.
Then when do we have to have $1 million put aside by? I mean, we're paying like $60,000.
It's a 30 years. It was. We got our permit in 2000. Yeah, the base year for the permit was year 2000. So there's 12 years left on this. One thing good about it, we have some money laid away. Like if you have some type of groundwater contamination or something, they shut you down, you don't have to rely on all the taxpayers just to and cut a lot of the other business down. You have some money put away for it. So that's one of
money
the
that we're putting back drawing us interest. Because the interest alone over 20 years should damn near do that. Because it's going to triple in time. So that'd be your money right there.
I'm not positive.
5% interest.
I'm not positive that they pay interest on that, and you'll also see here that you actually have to pay $150 charge for because it's in a trust fund, but I'm not positive on that. So I don't see them statements, I guess. I don't know whether you do or not. Okay, or probably Dolores that sees them. So, but anyway, that's where we stand on that. So I think we're going to have to probably, if we don't pursue to pay the $63,000, we're going to have to do this financial assurance where we do that study. And of course, I guess auditors was here last week. Yeah, so maybe we'll be closer if that's the route you guys want to choose.
How many yards we got coming in there?
How many
tons a year do we got coming in out there now?
I don't know.
I mean, we might be able to offset this by adding like 50 cents on a ton or something to cover it, depending on how many tons we're getting.
Yes and no, but once, eventually we're going to have to finish, if we're going to keep operating, we're going to have to open that pit further east, and then therefore you have more exposure again to get it closed back down again. So, anyway.
How much further can we go east?
Toward the fence line or the width that we have. And then that's the end there, other than a vertical expansion. That's where we started with the C&D pit, utilizing that. Yeah, I just thought that was odd that we was the only one.
I do find that interesting.
With the water runoff deal.
I'm sorry?
When you get clear to the east fence, or what is the state going to say about the water runoff?
I think you'll have to leave some sort of pit until it's about ready to close, and then you have to get it all covered and be done.
On the other side of the fence, say, I don't know about that.
Yeah, have to pump it out or something, so, yeah. Okay, anyway, that's what I'm doing that by.
we started this back when I was commissioner before, you think?
Well, that's when they went into all that EPA super
Well,
fund
I'm
deal.
just wondering, the reason we got into this because we had to drill monitor wells and we didn't know what.
Exactly. That's
Well,
We
there's
had
one
no
that closes.
idea what was gonna happen.
Yeah, there's one that closes down,
Right,
and that's when
closes
we
down,
went with
but it
this small landfill exemption, you know, semi-arid, since it's so dry here. And we did get that legislation through,
We
so,
drilled those wells and had contamination, we didn't know what it was gonna cause.
yep. Yep, that's where it was at with that.
Well, and
So,
the thing is, you gotta carry this insurance for 30 years. Because if you don't have it, and then you do have a cleanup, you gotta pay $1 million in before it goes into the EPA fund that subsidizes for the cleanup.
Now, see, you know, they also wanted to do that liner and everything like that, where they do that pump, and that's what Sherman County wound up going with, even though they wasn't required to, because they was still under that tonnage amount, but they did do theirs at their landfill. Put in that special liner.
At the
so-
new landfill.
At the new landfill, correct. They just have a, can't think of the term now, what they have out there now. It's kind of a sorting place, you know, a transfer station.
Right, they bale it and then carry it out
Yeah.
there in loads.
Yeah. Makes it nice for disposing of as far as that goes
Well,
when you
yeah,
go.
you know, if it's in bale, it's gonna be easy to bury and saves a lot of room.
Yep. All right, the Capitco is the asphalt oil that we got on that. Water protection fee was a gravel pit license there. Further down, Brock McAtee made a payment. This is on the Keller Pond project where we hauled the millings in for that trail. And then we made our greater payments there. I think the work done's pretty well explanatory on that. We started today, we got all our permits to do from KDHE to bury the Good Samaritan Village out here out west, and then also the sheriff building to go to the old landfill, Bird City. So we started digging our pit here, and we'll start taking the building down Monday. So, over here. There's 5 trees I think we got to get rid of. I wish someone would take them, but got to have a truck spade or something like that to transfer these trees over here. So. It's easy for us to cut them and haul away. It's just get into that, so.
Can I get a room in Bird City?
You may not like it. It's at Ed's house.
No, it's across the street in the sheriff's new
You already own a
building.
building.
Yeah, you own it, I guess.
I gotta be over there the 11th of October, I might as well spend the night for the 12th, hadn't it?
Yeah, just stay in the sheriff's new building they got over there.
Bring a cop, and there you go, huh?
I bet there's one in there if you look.
Yeah, it probably is.
I will not be here. I'm going to be out of town, but just to let you know.
Okay.
I would go if I was going to be here.
I'd be interested in coming to that, I don't know.
Would one of the, if somebody, one of the other commissioners going, or if we want to ask someone else to do a welcome? Other than that, I think we pretty well got it all hashed out. Of course, the response is coming back slow, which it always does. I think we only got 10 back, but then we're expecting between 50 and 60, so. Maybe you want to see that too. I don't know.
Thank you.
You're gonna give the welcome, right?
I prefer someone else. I even thought of Helen Dobbs if she'd be interested. You know, she could tell some interesting points of the county too. But
That's what I do.
I was going to ask her if you guys didn't want it. That's fine. So
Make sure Miss Fred Magley when you need him, doesn't it?
that's right. He can entertain us. So hopefully it'll be a good meeting.
Thank you.
We need permission from you guys to, I don't want to say that, to avoid the bill for Royce Riley since it's been outdated, whatever. Leslie can help me on the term on that one. On Royce Riley's bill with the landfill. Since we can't collect it, the auditors want us to do some certain term to, like, forfeit that bill?
Write it off or what?
Write it off.
Well, what we have been doing is we're trying to collect those now. If there are past due bills that aren't being paid, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
If there's a past due bill, I've implemented a policy whereby we are filing collections up in the court to
Okay.
get those paid. So if you get me copies of any outstanding bills, we'll go ahead and go in to court and try and get that paid.
Okay, I assumed you or the auditor got with Kelly and said they was asking if we could write this off, so.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about this.
Okay, maybe I better find out a little more on that then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Sorry
this
about
is the first that I've heard of this.
Okay. All right. What you did, I'm going to ask Kelly real quick on this.
Somebody got some squeaky shoes.
Oh, maybe so. Like the statute of limitations ran? Okay. All right, okay. All right. So who do I need to talk to, Dave? Who's advising you on?
I assume, this is between Jessica and Kelly.
No. I mean, who is telling you that we need to get this off your books?
Jessica told Kelly that this needs to come off, and I assume since it was past the term limit, that the commissioners have to approve of writing it off.
Was it the auditors?
Somehow I'm in the dark here. I'm not even really sure what.
When, in the past, if we've had a bill that was outstanding for so long and we couldn't get collection on it, we'd have to write it off. And I assume this fell in that category, so.
Okay. So,
And what specifically is the bill for?
The landfill fee.
Okay, so someone brought materials to the landfill and built a,
Charged it and then left the country.
Was he still on property here?
No.
I thought he owned the little greenhouse there in town.
Well, even if they did, I don't know that you could come against it on a solid waste charge.
Big bill or not very much?
Not that much.
it's not that much. I mean, basically, you just need to request of the commissioners that you have the authority to write it off
Okay.
and then remove it from your accounting.
and what is the amount?
$19.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we don't want the attorney fee from taking that one to court.
It's a part of my job. Hey, I've collected on a couple.
Okay, on this Billings, I did get back with Venture, told them we had a commissioner that's hard, didn't want to cooperate with them, and they said if you'd clean the site up, we'd give it to you. I thought we're still going to have to deal with these fines that we're having a hard time getting rid of. And that's the reason I did this email here with Norm, and then Leslie reviewed it. I think we could sell it for like $2 a ton and try to get as much as we cleaned out. We could also stockpile the excess on the state property on the right-of-way, just about 2.5 miles northwest of there. You know, we could maybe always use it in washes. You know, we're always going to have floods or whatever and have some washouts. I looked into one screener. I thought it was a little high. I'm looking into another, and so we could possibly get some screenings so we could utilize this chip rock to chip seal some asphalt roads. So,
Plus be able to sell if
plus
anybody
bill
was
selling.
interested.
Yes.
I like that idea.
Okay.
The only thing, there's a catch. It has to be determined that this product is not readily available. That's the
Anywhere
only-
else in the county, I think.
Right,
that
and
we
that's
can
the
do
only, but that has to be a determination by the board that it is not readily available so that we can sell this privately. That is a condition of the law.
I don't know where the hell else it would.
The only other one was Brock McAtee, and he was getting some, but he has sold all he had, and he's looking for some more. So he said,
So he could be a potential customer even.
yes, he could be. So that was the only one we had, so
Well,
I
if
think
he's out, then there's none else readily available.
that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds easy.
So you're good with that? Okay, we'll go forward with that deal then.
That's pretty good on catching them turned out there.
I haven't got to see it. Doug said we had a couple soft spots usually,
Yesterday, there's a couple
and he
spots.
was working on them. So,
Better than I figured.
okay. On the mechanic situation, I got that email back. I think we just need to advertise whether we need to change it to where it's a maintenance person or something, or I just need to, I think we're going to run some more ads on that and see who we can get available then, so.
All right.
Okay. I think that's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
So are you two both thinking of going to the meeting the 12th? Okay, I'll get you registered. So,
I will be in Quebec, Canada.
okay.
So save me a cookie or something.
Boy, yeah.
I bet you will.
Old dried up roll.
Yeah.
Let's see if you don't let it dry up and you get back.
Troy, I believe we're ready.
All right. Well, I don't have a whole lot this morning. First thing is mainly just I have a new board member that's interested. So we have I don't know if some of you may know Grant Hobble. I have not met the guy yet so far, but a lot of my board members. He's a Servitech crop consultant.
I know, Grant.
A lot of them know him pretty well and are pretty excited about it. So I haven't met him yet, but they seem like he'd be a pretty good addition. The only thing I do know about him is that he's got kids in 4-H, and so he's pretty familiar with that side of the world, and that's always helpful, I think, because I didn't grow up around that, and I don't know much about it. But mostly there for the grandstand stuff is what I know. So it's nice to have board members that can move around and know their way around things. So,
Sure.
but he's the main reason I'm here today. Just see if we can get him added to our team. But
Does that need to be an appointment by us?
it just needs to be approved by you guys. It's been voted
So
on
you
my
make the
board.
choices and we.
Yep, my board votes yes. Take him to the commissioners and see if they'll approve, and that's pretty much how it works. So if you approve of him being added to our board, then we just put him on.
Yeah, I've got
So-
no
So
problem.
move.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. But secondly, I just had a few things just to kind of clarify with, I know there's been a lot of drama back and forth with this alcohol thing. So there's some miscommunications, I think, on all sides. And I just wanted to kind of clarify a few things. I don't think we're all really understanding everybody on what we're all wanting to do. So just a few things that out of your last board meeting, I read the minutes and whatnot and have seen. I just wanted to clarify a few things, especially because it was in the paper. The comment was made on that you guys were clear to us about no beer garden, and that's true. We understood you guys do not want to have a beer garden. However, past that, what I don't feel like we discussed was all the extra alcohol that comes in, and I don't think us or the sheriff's office really understand exactly what you expect of us as far as keeping it out, checking coolers, that kind of thing. And so there's been a big gray area that we've all kind of been around a long time. And
Well,
we really,
and it's really not that gray. The law and the rules are in place. They just haven't been enforced.
okay,
We're not going to circumvent that.
okay,
I mean,
that's
we can't. We can't afford
Yeah.
to, and we're just
that's
not
something I
gonna
think we didn't all understand each other on that. We, as a board, don't really understand what you expect of us to do about it.
Well,
And we talked to the sheriff, and he says this, and I think we're just all not quite on the same page.
Well, I think the sheriff made the comments a little bit out of context. He was referring to past commissioners.
Right? And I
And
agree with that.
maybe we just assumed that you guys understood that no alcohol means no alcohol.
Okay. Well, that's-
Inside county property.
Okay, well, that's kind of what we were hoping that
And-
you would say, but we didn't really know for sure.
That's the way we had understood it.
Okay.
And there again, I mean, we can have another meeting to discuss all this, but we're bound by the rules we've already set.
Okay.
The question is enforcement.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only loose end we've got.
That's what, when he made that comment about bringing up a meeting about having all us there, that was on my suggestion because that's something I've wanted to do. And
that's fine.
And I think that's because of
it would be
miscommunication
more
here.
than fair to get with Cody and come in and talk to us next year well before fair time, and hammer out some details.
Yeah, I think it'd be
that's-
really positive if we would do that.
I think that's good too. That way we could let people know our feelings and our position on this.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this, since the rules are there, we can't circumvent these. I mean, we can't bend them and apply them. That's opening us up to liabilities that we want no part of.
Right?
And
Yeah, I think.
it's not like we made the rules. We're just trying to get them enforced.
Okay, well, that's good because I think we're all kind of wanting the same goal. We're just not really knowing how to move forward with it. So I think that's a big thing if we can all get together on a special
So let's do
event.
that. Let's sometime
I like that.
early next year. Give us.
Okay.
That way we can let the community know also what our ideas are.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I'm all for that.
Okay.
That way there's no misunderstandings.
Yeah, it's important, I think, because I really do think we're all in the same. I mean, we all think kind of the same way, but we're just not moving forward with it
Well,
right. I
you know,
think it's confusing a lot of people. I think, but,
we're mainly concerned about protecting our liabilities.
right?
Right? And if we bend, break, amend, change the rules that are in place, we're opening ourselves up where we don't want to be.
Absolutely, I agree with you. But I think we just didn't quite all understand really what everybody's side was, and
Yeah, well, there's
Because
no
it's-
animosity. We just
yeah.
need to get
Yep.
together and iron out some details.
I agree. I think that over the years, it's been approached a different way, and we're changing the approach. I think we all agree that the approach needs to be changed, and I think we need to meet. How we're going to do that approach, we sit there and try to say, well, this is the way it used to be. It's not the way it used to be anymore. It's a new way.
Right.
And if we could sit there in a public meeting and discuss that and lay down what we're going to do and how we can work together to enforce that.
And I don't think anybody could fault us for that.
No, I don't think so. I think that would be a great idea, and I appreciate the efforts that Troy has made. I appreciate the efforts you gentlemen made. Like I said, I think the publicly of us coming together and being on the same page, as Troy says, and the public knowing we're all on the same page and understanding what we're going to do moving forward would really help. Because, you know, when you have a history of something in the past, that this is the way it's been done in the past, and then you say, okay, we want to actually enforce a rule that was in place, but we never really enforced very hard before. We have to communicate with the public. We can't blame the public for breaking a rule that was openly not enforced in the past. So we have to communicate between ourselves and communicate through the newspaper, communicate through a public meeting, things like that, that this is the way things have changed. And in today's society, you know, you can't leave the county open that much liability. And we're going to have to enforce rules. So,
And that brings up renting that out for wedding dances and stuff. And the wildlife benefits.
Yeah, there are some things we probably do need to talk about going forward.
Scott, you want to get me a copy of all that? They've got in place thus far, so I can take a look at it and see what those records are saying.
If there's some kind of contract and agreement signed, don't they now assume responsibilities for what goes on out there?
Well, and I don't know if there's actually a written contract that is signed for
I'm
use
not
of the
aware of
fair
it.
building. So that's why I want to see what's in place so far.
Okay.
And then I can coordinate with the fair board as to the rental of the fair building and such.
I think it's kind of where we all are, because I
Yeah.
know there's something. I think there's something there, but none of
Right.
my board members really know what it is or where it is, and if it's changed in the past. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of
So,
things we
I
don't
mean, it's
know.
kind of like trying to figure out other things since I've been on. We'll start at the beginning and figure it out.
Kind of hit us with fire.
I was going to bring it up when we had it. I'm just going to bring it up now so Leslie can look at it. Somebody told me they thought that in whatever decision was made when they allowed to let alcohol in the fair building during special events and stuff, that there was something in there that 3-2 beer was allowed down on the fairgrounds. Was an argument that was brought forth to me. I haven't had a chance to read that or anything to do any research yet on it. I was going to put that for the meeting. That's something I also probably should look because.
Well, that's what I'm going to do, Cody. I'm going to start from the beginning and see what is in place. And so, because basically what you're talking about is a rumor.
Yeah, and that.
And so I want to base everything in fact. What is here? What do we have? Let's go from there. Okay?
Because I think when they said, well, and of course this wasn't during the fair. This was after the fair when all this. They said, well, I'm pretty sure I remember when they passed that resolution that 3-2 was allowed. You can drink 3-2 beer at the fair, and I was like, I'm unaware of that, but I will look and see.
Well, and like I said, there are a lot of rumors and assumptions and et cetera that's out there. That's why we're going to start over,
We need to-
get a clear policy, and go from
And
there.
that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why we need to all sit down.
Why don't we just plan on doing that sometime in the
think it's a
first
great
quarter
idea.
next year?
I'm all for it. You guys just tell me when, and we'll work on making sure the dates work and we can all get together.
No, I think March, April will be plenty.
Yep.
All right, sounds like a deal.
Cool. That last thing, then that brings to, we have this list we talked briefly about, and that's mostly on it. Things we'd like to change down there. So this is something, Gary wanted to give this to you guys with our minutes from September meeting, and I didn't get it to him soon enough, so you guys can all have a copy of that. That's just a list of stuff that we briefly discussed, things we'd like to see that, ideas mostly, these are my ideas of how we can kind of control things a little better. And so there are things we don't have or haven't done in the past that I'd like to do. So this is something that we can talk in detail at that meeting, try to figure out how we're going to control those things. So that's really all that is. And like I said, I didn't come here to talk mostly about that. That was just to clarify a few things. And I really think if we had that meeting, that would just solve. It kind of looks to me like these articles in the paper look like we're all going back and forth at each other, and I don't want the public to think that's what's happening, because it's really not. So we're just not communicating well, and we need to, is all it is.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Hopefully we'll have a great fair next year, and hopefully our carnival will.
From what I hear, I don't know any details yet, but from what I hear, things sound like they're kind of in place. I don't know.
We really
looks a little more promising than we thought, but
until the legislation's done next spring, we won't really
things
know
were
anything. But
at first when this came up, things were looking really, really negative, and now I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as bad as they think, but we'll see.
yeah, hope for the best.
Yep.
Well, I know there was a hearing the week before last.
Yeah.
But I didn't see what actually came out of that hearing.
I haven't heard anything out of that yet, but I guess we'll see what happens when it's solved. But other than that, I think we're going to do all right next year.
Good.
It's just a matter of trying to put some changes in place, and that's never easy. So,
Well, as long as they're all positive,
yep.
good to go.
All right then.
Thank you, Troy.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Cody had one more thing you wanted to.
I forgot to mention this, I left in haste earlier. The sheriff's office had, I believe it's around $12,000 in a special fund to match grants. If we received a grant in 2017, obviously we have not applied for any grant in 2017, which will need those funds. I was wondering if, while the auditor's around, we could discuss the possibility of moving that money out of that grant fund and into the jail fund to cover, obviously we're short. Trying to think of ideas to help cover a fund that's running short. I see no reason why we'll be using that $12,000 in 2017 in that matching grant funds.
So we might as well use it.
We might as well use it instead of having one fund that's over and one fund that's flush. If we can move that, that would help balance things. Of course, we'll need to talk to the county attorney and the auditor to make sure we're doing it right. But just an opportunity. And I understand we moved the $10,000 on the reimbursement from Wallace County. You guys signed the stuff to get that moved. So that was just an idea I had and a thought I had, and I forgot to present to you guys when I was on the agenda. So that's all I had.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
all right.
Sounds good. Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Okay, is there any other business before the board this morning?
I'd like 5 to 8 minutes of your time for the executive session to discuss non-elected personnel.
I don't.
I don't know that a
No,
citizen can call an executive.
Pardon?
I don't think
citizen.
you have the authority to ask for an executive session as a citizen.
I don't.
I don't believe so.
I don't believe so either.
Okay.
We can research this thing.
Pardon?
Here's a suggestion. We could research this a little bit if you wish to table till next meeting. That would give Leslie a chance to research your request.
Can do that. How about I talk to you at your convenience before the next meeting?
Okay, we can do that.
Would that be acceptable?
Yes, that would be acceptable.
Has the audit been completed for last year?
No. They were here Monday and Tuesday. And
They're still working
yeah,
on
they're
it.
still working on it. And those papers, I have those papers for you to sign.
Oh, okay.
Fill out
For the
budget.
For the budget, okay. I'll get with you on that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rodney.
Enjoy your vacation.
Helen, did you have something?
No, I just wanted to make sure that you got the information from the Northwest Kansas Planning and Development from last night, and there were quite a few people there that talked about that, some commissioners and their concerns, and how would you pay for it if you did that. One interesting thing that came out, and part of the Planning Commission is also Pioneer Country Development, Inc., and Northwest Kansas Housing. And one thing that I was not aware of is there was a line item that showed that there was quite a bit of money going out of state on the Section 8 housing. And the reason for that is if we have somebody in this county that is on Section 8 housing and they move to another community, they are on a waiting list. And as long as they're on that waiting list, then the funds need to be paid from here to there. And the example in this case was, I think they moved from maybe someplace in Kansas to Texas, and that the rent down there is much higher, so the subsidy is also higher than it actually was in Kansas, which I think will probably be taken up as a legislative issue. It's a national issue, but it's just something that is going to hurt small communities and people, when they have subsidized housing in small communities. So just another government thing that's how it is, but would be nice to be changed.
All right. Thank you, Ellen.
And I do go to the state fair and sit a booth for the byway and also for St. Francis, and the response is really good. Got a lot of people coming through, went through a lot of literature, and I'm kind of pleased to announce that we're almost out of brochures for the Rickery Breaks and Cherry Creek encampment. I thought they'd last a couple of years, and we won't make it till the end of the year, and that's good.
Yeah,
so
that is.
Getting a lot of traffic.
Okay, thank you, Ellen.
Yeah, I don't do, could you hear Reed?
Yeah.
Okay,
And I showed him what I had. I told him I'd get him a copy of that.
okay. So, looks like he wants to study it a little bit before.
Okay, I hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
You know, I believe.
Enjoy it.
Hell of a lot better than I do.